An occupying soldier sits in the vehicle and watches the drone approach. A drone flies along a rural road and passes a parked vehicle. As it moves past, the camera notices movement inside. An occupying soldier sits in the vehicle and watches the drone approach. The drone turns back and quickly aligns with the target. Seconds later, it descends toward the vehicle and contact follows. The quiet road remains empty afterward. A drone follows movement near a narrow ravine bordered by bushes and uneven ground. An occupying soldier climbs through the brush and slips down the slope, dropping into the shallow depression below. From above, the drone circles while tracking the movement. During the first approach, the soldier reacts quickly and manages to strike the drone, sending it down before it reaches him. After a moment, he climbs out of the ravine and moves across the open ground nearby. Soon, another kamikaze drone appears in the air above the area. The soldier drops to the ground, trying to remain still and hide against the terrain. The drone descends steadily and closes the distance. Seconds later, contact occurs. Smoke and debris spread across the ground while the camera holds briefly over the ravine and surrounding brush. The scene ends with the quiet landscape beneath drifting smoke. A drone flies steadily along a rural road, scanning the surrounding terrain. Fields and brush stretch along both sides while the camera searches for movement near the tree line. After a moment, the drone notices an occupying soldier standing among the bushes not far from the road. He remains still, looking down and barely moving, as the drone continues its approach from above. The drone adjusts its line and begins a controlled descent toward the position. Within seconds, contact occurs near the edge of the bushes. The roadside falls quiet again as the camera holds briefly over the still landscape. A drone moves slowly along the side of a rural road bordered by bushes and scattered trees. A light layer of snow covers the ground, and the quiet landscape stretches across the frame. The drone continues forward, scanning the roadside for any movement. Soon, a lone occupying soldier becomes visible walking along the edge of the road. His pace is slow and unhurried. From above, he appears unaware of the drone approaching behind him. The drone follows for several seconds, maintaining a steady position above the road and nearby brush. The soldier continues walking calmly, pausing briefly near the trees. Then the drone aligns and begins a short descent. Within moments, contact occurs near the roadside. The snowy ground and empty road remain in view as the camera holds briefly over the silent scene. A drone flies above a quiet rural road, scanning the surrounding fields and brush. The camera moves steadily forward while the operator searches for movement along the route. Soon, two occupying soldiers become visible walking along the road. They move at a normal pace, passing between open ground and scattered bushes. From above, their path remains clear against the surrounding terrain. The drone follows their movement for several seconds, maintaining distance while aligning its approach. One of the soldiers remains slightly behind the other as they continue along the road. The drone then begins its descent toward the trailing figure. Within moments, contact occurs near the roadside. The second figure moves away as the camera holds briefly above the quiet road and surrounding fields. This sequence shows a series of drone recordings from different areas along the front line in Ukraine. The footage shifts between fields, rural roads, damaged villages, and forest belts where military activity continues day by day. From above, the terrain reveals the marks left by months of conflict. Broken buildings, empty roads, and disturbed ground form a landscape shaped by ongoing fighting. Small vehicles and scattered movement appear briefly across the frame before the camera moves on to the next location. Each moment becomes part of a larger picture of how the war unfolds across wide stretches of countryside. Beyond the immediate scenes, the footage also reflects the broader reality of the conflict, a long and complex struggle that continues to reshape both the land and the lives of people across the region. This segment moves through winter footage recorded in forested areas. Snow covers the ground between tall pine trees, while narrow paths and forest clearings cut through the landscape. From above, drones patrol these wooded sectors, where movement is often difficult to notice from the ground. Across the sequence, small vehicles and scattered figures appear briefly between the trees. The snow highlights every track and route through the forest, making movement easier to detect from the air. The drone camera follows these moments across several locations, moving from one forest path to another. Smoke rises among the trees before the scene shifts again. Through the winter forest, the footage captures how aerial observation continues even in harsh seasonal conditions, documenting the ongoing reality of the front line. High above the fields and forests, the drone camera drifts slowly across the landscape. From this height, the ground becomes a patchwork of roads, tree lines, and distant structures. The scene moves steadily forward, like a silent observer passing over the land. Stories could be imagined in places like these: old roads that once carried travelers between villages, fields that changed color with every season, forests that remained long before the camera ever arrived above them. From the air, the world appears calm and distant. The drone continues forward, gliding above the terrain as the horizon stretches across the frame. For a moment, the camera becomes less about the events below and more about the landscape itself, the shapes of rivers, the quiet lines of roads, and the endless movement of clouds above. The drone keeps moving across the open sky until the scene fades into the next moment of the flight. This segment shows a series of drone recordings taken inside a large garage structure. The building appears heavily used as a shelter for various light vehicles and equipment. From the outside, the structure looks quiet, but the aerial perspective soon reveals activity inside. Several kamikaze drones approach the building one after another. Each drone enters through large openings in the walls or roof, navigating through the dark interior. Inside, rows of vehicles and equipment are visible under the broken beams and concrete structure. The drones maneuver carefully through the confined space, adjusting their path between pillars, walls, and parked machines. From the onboard cameras, the interior of the building becomes clearer. Scattered equipment, damaged walls, and vehicles placed close together. Across multiple sequences, the drones reach their targets within the garage. Smoke begins to fill parts of the interior, while debris spreads across the concrete floor. The footage switches between different drones, capturing similar approaches from new angles. Each entry into the structure shows the same pattern: a narrow flight path through the opening, a brief maneuver inside, and contact with the vehicles sheltered there. As the sequence ends, the camera lingers briefly on the dark interior of the garage before the footage transitions to the next scene. This segment documents the results of a tactical operation carried out under favorable weather conditions. Using reconnaissance data about the condition and placement of opposing forces, units prepared a coordinated advance towards several positions along the front line. From the aerial view, the terrain shows a network of trenches, tree lines, and damaged structures that had been used as temporary defensive points. These positions were intended to serve as a staging area for further movement across the surrounding terrain. During the operation, forces moved forward and applied pressure across multiple points at once. Drone surveillance played a key role in observing movement, adjusting coordination, and maintaining awareness across the area. As the sequence unfolds, abandoned positions and damaged cover appear across the landscape. Several previously held locations are shown after the advance, now quiet and empty. The footage captures the aftermath of the operation rather than the direct engagement itself. From above, the ground reveals the changing control of positions along the front line. By the end of the segment, the area once used as a potential staging ground is shown under observation from the air, marking the completion of the tactical advance.
Subscribe to the channel and leave a like.